You've seen her. That woman who, as soon as she enters the room, the attention just goes directly to her. It's the one that gets what she wants when everybody else thinks it was their idea. It's that woman who effortlessly influences whilst others scramble to prove their power. And welcome to Why Feminine Women Secretly Are More Powerful. So what's her secret? And it's not what you think, I'm telling you. If you don't know, today I'm going to be exposing the hidden power of feminine energy and why it's actually the strongest force in the room. So first of all, let's bust a little myth. Soft does not equal to weak. Society often tells us that we need to be powerful, we need to be tough, we need to be a strong woman. And I've had enough of it. I've had enough of all that strong woman rubbish being pushed onto us women. And then all these guys on podcasts being like, oh, you know, she's not in their feminine energy. That's why we're not masculine, because they're not in their feminine. No. Society has always told us that we have to be strong. And that is not the way. It's not about being aggressive. It's not about being dominant. It's about being feminine. Feminine energy, with its softness, with its grace, has a superpower which is overlooked. And it's time for us to step back into it, because that's where our power lies. And it's not about being weak, it's about being strong in a different way. Think of it like water, soft and fluid, yet powerful enough to carve through rocks over time. That's the kind of power that we're talking about here. So now let's talk about the power of receptive energy. Feminine energy is about flow, intuition and receptivity. It's about being open to receiving, whether that's love, abundance or opportunities. When you embrace this energy, you're not just sitting back and waiting. You're actively inviting the universe to bring what you need to you. It's like opening a door and letting the good stuff in. This kind of energy is so magnetic and it naturally draws people and opportunities to you. But we've been taught that been taught the masculine way, which is all about doing, whereas the feminine way is about attracting. Here's where the real magic happens: influence versus force. As I mentioned before, masculine energy often relies on force and action, whereas feminine energy thrives on influence. It's about inspiring and leading with your presence and not pushing or forcing your way through. Think about it as the difference between a gentle breeze and a storm. A breeze can guide you effortlessly, whilst a storm might push you around. When you lead with influence, you tend to create lasting change and inspire others to follow your lead naturally. Whereas when you force your way through, it's like people, they don't follow you because they want to. They kind of follow you sometimes because of fear or out of fear. So let's look at some real world examples. Let's look at Oprah Winfrey, for instance. She's the epitome of feminine power. She doesn't shout from the rooftops to get her message across. She uses her warmth, her empathy, as well as her influence to connect with millions of people, millions of women. Her ability to inspire and lead comes from her authentic self and her willingness to be receptive and influential. So now I want to share a success story from one of my queens who embraced her feminine power. Helen, a cooperative executive, thought that she had to be tough to succeed, and that's something that not only Helen does. I feel like we live in a world who's controlled by men, and this is the way that we've been taught to lead, through force, through dominance, and that's not the way for us women anyway. But after a few one-to-one sessions, and from me going through elements of the Queen's Alchemy methodology, she realised the power in softness. She started to lead her team through more of like an empathetic and receptive way. And guess what happened? It's like her team just changed. It changed so much, and she was so shocked. Her team's productivity soared. She started to see results from her team members that she'd never seen before. And then out of that, she was then promoted to a higher position. And as you know, I come from a kind of corporate background. And one thing that I realised is that I feel like I had a natural feminine energy when I used to lead. I never ever used that force, dominant kind of way of leading. That was never ever me. Like I mentioned with Helen, I led from a more empathetic, feminine way. I didn't kind of feel that I had to show dominance because they were men. I showed my feminine more, and that helped to pull them in. That helped to get the best results. That helped them to trust me as their leader. That made them want to be productive. That made them want to do their work. When it comes to leading, I've always had that connection with my team. Wherever I go, I always get teams that absolutely fall in love with me because of how I lead them, how I push them, how I guide them, how I help them. I've never thought that that forceful way of leadership worked. When I see a lot of managers or people in high roles, I've always seen them lead in that way, and it doesn't work. It just causes people to put up walls. It causes people to not want to do their best for you or to perform, because it's a very forceful way of leadership. A lot of people don't like force. And we live in a world, and because it's a male dominant world, that's the way that we've been taught, or that's the way that we know. And I want to bring women especially back to leading in a feminine way. I want us to bring back feminine energy, because feminine energy is the energy that's missing in this world right now. So if we can bring women back to their feminine through the Queen's Alchemy methodology, then we will have a much better world. And that's my aim. I want to bring women back to their feminine. So here's some ways to implement femininity in your leadership. Embrace your softness. Start by accepting and celebrating your softness. And remember, it's not a weakness, it's your superpower. Practice receptivity. Take time each day to be open and receptive, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply being present. Allow yourself to receive. Lead with influence. In your personal and professional life, focus on inspiring and influencing rather than forcing. Use your presence and empathy to guide others, and celebrate other feminine queens. Surround yourself with powerful women who embody feminine energy. Learn from them and uplift each other. So there you have it, queens. Feminine women are much more powerful, and that's what this world is scared of. That's why they've turned it into a male dominant world. And it's not about being sexist. I'm not being sexist, but it's a fact. Most things in this world are feminine. Doing is masculine. Attracting is feminine. A lot of elements in this world is feminine, and it's been switched around. And that's why we live in kind of a messed up world because there's too much masculine energy, not just coming from the males, but also coming from females. So it's for us to get back into our feminine energy because it's powerful. Remember, your feminine energy is your greatest asset. Embrace it and watch your world transform. It's time for us to embrace feminine energy, because with it we can make this world a much better place. And don't forget, if you want a one-to-one with me, email me or go to my website, thediaryofnaomi.co.uk. And don't forget to share this video with other like-minded ladies. Let's create a movement, because embracing our feminine will help us reach heights we never thought we could reach. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and to share this video. And remember, your presence is your power. Bye for now. Mwah.